Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day, great week so far. Of course, I'm back on the lake. As I always say, one of my favorite places. On the way home from work, I was thinking about what to talk about today. And I think a very important topic is deciding if you're ready to retire. You know, you've done the research, you've worked, you put the years in, the struggles, the sacrifices. Now it's time to decide if this is the right time for you. And you are really the only person that can do that. No one else, everyone has an opinion about what you should do, when you should do it, but this is really up to you. But once you figure out what it is that's holding you back from retiring or leaving your job, making that type of change, then you have to make a decision. It's, you go in the bathroom, you take a shit, or you get out. Um, make space for someone else. So that's what this video is about. Um, Figuring out what's holding you back from pursuing this next stage in your life called retirement, and going from there, making a decision and moving on with it. And that's where I'm at. What was holding me back was knowing my financial number, often called the F number. I like to call it my freedom number. And now, once I figured out what my freedom number was, I realized that was really the only thing holding me back. And now it's making a decision on leaving work and moving on with this next chapter of my life. So that's where I'm at. I'm sure a lot of you are probably in that same situation. So it's not an easy thing to figure out what's holding you back sometimes. For me, as I mentioned before in previous videos, last year was a big shock to me when I lost my father to lung cancer. And it just helped me focus on what's really important. And for me, that's time. Having time with family, having time with myself, and enjoying this next phase of life called retirement. And so that's where I'm at. And if you're in that same predicament, then hopefully we can help figure this out together. And so that's what this channel is about. No one has all the answers. Obviously, we have a lot of questions, and hopefully we can maybe answer some of those questions here. I'm just a guy on YouTube, kind of going through this pre-retirement phase in my life, and soon I'll be looking at retirement amongst the lily pads out here on the lake. I've never actually been over on this side. Looks pretty amazing. So first and foremost, you have to figure out, what is it that's holding you back? What is it? For me, it was my finances. I just didn't know if I could do it, if I had enough, but I figured that out. And from everything I've figured out, it seems like I do, but I know that I may have to make adjustments. I've talked about this thing that can erode your savings called inflation and the cost of everything going up. So I've kind of factored that in my calculations on current expenses as well as future expenses. So that was what was holding me back. Now it's just moving forward with my decision to leave work and pursue this next phase in my life called retirement. So I'm looking forward to it. If it's your first time here, welcome. This channel's going to be a little bit about pre-retirement, retirement, different stages of retirement, as well as just life in general. Travel. Do you want to stay where you're at? Are you planning to move somewhere else, try something else new? Maybe because some other places can be just more affordable than many places in the US. So we'll talk about that as well. Health and fitness and just keeping yourself in shape, both mentally and physically. And what I'll be doing to do that, like right now, as you can see, I'm on my personal watercraft called the Yellow Kayak. And as I've mentioned before, I don't like to disturb the environment, my surroundings. I like to be at one with the surroundings. A beautiful scene. So once you figure out what's holding you back, then you can move forward with that decision, whether to stay, whether to go, whether to make the change. And only you can answer that question. As I said, everyone has an opinion. I have an opinion, and that's all it really is. But a lot of people say that, retirement, you don't know how long you have, so you want to make the most of it, especially in that first phase of retirement called the go-go years. And you never know how long that's going to last. Hopefully it's going to last a long time, decade, 2, 3 decades. Who knows? Nobody knows. As I've mentioned before, and most of us know, you can always find something to do, a job, whether full-time or part-time, maybe something you love more than what you're doing now. So just don't give up on the dream. And that's what this really is accomplishing a dream. And I'm looking forward to it. My date's coming up fairly shortly, within the next month or so. So it's going to be a countdown here shortly. So I'm really getting excited about it. The apprehension of, do I do it or not, is really kind of fading away. Now it's just becoming more excitement about this next phase. So appreciate you being here. If you've been here before, thank you for your loyalty. Definitely share comments, what you're going through, what was holding you back, if you have any suggestions for the rest of us. And I appreciate your time, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.